Quality Dilemma in Online Education Revisited by Nancy Parker. Many students are seeking online coursework, a lot of times because it's more convenient for time-wise, and a lot of times it's less expensive. So those institutions are faced with the task of providing online services that meet high-quality standards for the students, the faculty, and for government requirements. One of the concerns that was addressed is that there are not solid government requirements. There are not benchmarks that are in place to regulate and make sure that all the institutions are meeting the same standards. One of the things that institutions should consider is that there is a shift in the paradigms of instruction. Rather than it being a provider focus, it has shifted to a learner focus. Students and faculty alike need to be more open and promote capacities to analyze, interrelate, and communicate about facts gleaned from network-based knowledge. Many of the online courses should have opportunities for collaboration for students, for them to discuss things among themselves and to have opportunities to research together with all the resources that are available through the networks. One of the other issues is that each country has different standards and methods of regulating those standards. The coursework that's done in Europe is not going to have the same standards as coursework that is done in the United States. Europe, Australia, the United Kingdom, and Canada were discussed in this chapter. Another concern that was addressed is that the regulation of the online instruction should be measured through the results. Whatever standards, tests, means should all be used to see how well each institution is performing. Benchmarks is a good tool to see how well they're doing. As they begin to look at the performance of each institution, concerns should be addressed from within, which would be the faculty and staff, and outside. Outside could be the learners. Outside of the institution could also be those in the academic circles, other professors and peers who are experts on the content matter that's being presented. There are no conclusive methods to regulate online coursework, but for laypersons, there are websites that provide information about each institution. Another thing that was discussed in the chapter was that a student can look up the professor and find out how other students rate that professor, so they know if they're getting the highest quality education that they could, or if they're not necessarily a high quality instructor to prepare them for their job or whatever the next level will be. Quality needs to be constructed through consensus among a range of institutional stakeholders who must at the same time not promise or be promised more than can be delivered. A lot of times an institution will say that students are able to acquire jobs after attending their facilities, but if they're not able to provide that because they're not prepared adequately, they're not giving them what can be delivered. Also, if they don't have the right technology, things are not compatible, then they're not going to be able to deliver what they promise either. There's a need for those institutions to support those learners with a long-term and well-developed infrastructure, those institutions that change programs frequently, um, if they're always trying things that are new, then there's not enough time to establish what they already have. In conclusion, online instruction should focus on how people learn and facilitate those needs using the learning theory. They should look at what is important to the learner, not necessarily to what the professor thinks they should have or what the institution thinks the learner should have. The pursuit of quality online teaching and learning environments may become as much an exercise in scholarship as it's been in market positioning or state control. As these institutions look to provide the best quality instruction, it's not necessarily a matter of which one is going to raise the most money or which one the states are going to regulate, but what is going to be the highest quality education for those students.